What happens when the fire inside you starts to burn out? When life throws you a challenge so big, so unexpected, that you go from thriving to just surviving. Most people retreat, stay quiet, and let the weight of it keep them small. But the ones who rise, they don't wait for hope to find them. They build it. Because hope isn't just a feeling, my friend, it's a skill set. And today, we're diving into a conversation that will show you exactly how to turn hope into something you practice, something you strengthen, and something that you too can pull through even in your darkest moments. Welcome back to Embers Rising. I'm your host, Wendy J, with my co-host, my incredible husband, my adventure partner, David Tucker. And today we are talking about transformation, courage, and the power of owning your own voice, even when life tries to silence you. Our guest today, she knows exactly what it means to fight for herself and come back stronger. Taruna Ramani is a TEDx Speaker Coach, a public speaking expert, and the founder of the Power Speaker Unlimited, where she has trained over 500 students, my friends, and professionals to own their voice and step into the confidence. But before she built all of that, she faced a personal battle that nearly took her out. And through that experience, she learned something life-changing. Hope isn't something you wait for. It's something you create. And today she's here to share exactly how to do that. And step by step, we're going to dive into that. So, David, wow, this was an incredible episode.
Yeah, this is an incredible episode that we're diving
It's
into here.
really amazing.
And if you're listening to this, it's not all about that hopium, right? Where it's just sort of like fake it till you make it, because I think we learned that hope is like a driving skill that you can build, and it may be some of the best medication on the planet.
I love that. So if you've ever felt like you're just getting through the day, if you've ever wondered, how do I turn things around? This episode is for you. And listen, because no matter how dim things feel at all right now, we've been there too. You can rebuild. You can reignite. You can turn hope into the tiny actions that we're going to get into here with Miss Taruna Ramani. Let's dive in. But actually, before we dive in into this epic story, I want to share some shout outs from our incredible community, because you guys are what fuels our Embers Rising right now. So.
And I'm hoping to hear from my fan club, because I'm not sure if it's true or not.
Right.
But Wendy keeps telling me, hey, people keep asking about you on my Instagram channel. Now, is it possible it's because I'm not posting often enough, or do I really have a fan club? Or are you just trying to make me feel good? Anyway, I have hope about the whole thing.
David's he's building a skill set right now. Okay, so we have a post from, I believe this was a post we put up called, "Are We Losing What Makes Us Human?" This ties right into our episode. Social with Glam says, "You are correct. I personally need to reach out to a lot of people." Robust Physical Therapy says, "We feel it too. Deep down, community is everything." Justin and Jess say, "I read this article about how important in-between places are from a social perspective. Places that aren't work or home, that people hang out and interact with other people, like coffee shops or breweries. Many of these places are cracking down on loiters looking at you like Starbucks. And everything is getting so expensive that these places are becoming inaccessible to a lot of people. I'd love to see more places where we can lean into the tribal aspect of our humanity." Totally true. And we agree with that. We were just actually talking about that, how we're not going to Starbucks that often anymore. It's been, it's just gotten crazy expensive.
Or at all. It used to be a place that you'd go and hang out, right?
Yeah, and that's exactly what these guys are talking about. And I remember
you would sit down and have a coffee. And
it felt like community oriented. They actually had sofa seats and couches, sofas in there. And now it's just like these tiny tables, chairs. It feels like a fast food restaurant.
It's like they're trying to get rid of you all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's like you come in, like, get out of here.
And I know things really changed during COVID, right? Like, something, it just lost its allure. Now I want to not ever go into a Starbucks
Uh,
again. I don't want to touch anything when I'm in there.
but I agree, the tribal aspect has changed, and we do need that back in our life. We've got another shout out here from therapeutic_touch says reconnecting with community is essential. It reminds us that we're stronger together and not meant to face life alone. Let's prioritize building meaningful connections and support systems. Yeah, 100%. We agree with you. We need that. We need a reinvention of Starbucks, Dave. We need a reinvention. Let's go. 2025. We had I believe this came out of another episode. It was a short featuring David talking about stacking your values for a healthier life. Here's why. Justin and Jess says, man, health is seriously everything. It's something I'm constantly learning, experiencing in real time. Shoaib Hossein _ says, absolutely agree with you. Physical health and mental health are core values. And Hannah I Power says, exactly. Health is wealth after all. So,
And if you've listened to us long enough, you know that health is really one of our highest values, right? And I
100%.
believe that in, a lot of people are like, what about your wife? What about your work? What about your spirituality? All of these things. But the truth is, if you don't have your health, you really can't be there for anybody. And I think our next guest is actually going to dig into that in quite a big way.
I'm excited. So, listeners, please, if you want us to shout you out, leave us a comment wherever you are listening to this. We would love that, and to bring you in. And if you have a concept idea for us or a guest that should be on one of our episodes, let me know. Send me a DM or leave me a comment out there. So, you engage with us, and you never know where this relationship could take us, because we need you too. You are part of our community.
And I'll just point out our current guests that we've had on. We're having a flood of guests here. They all took the initiative to reach out to us because Embers Rising and our message and what we're doing with our community vibrated with them, right?
Yeah.
Like it energetically hit them in the right spots. So if that's you, if you're feeling that, reach out to Wendy.
That sounds good. All right. So let's dive in. How are you doing?
I am doing excellent.
Officially welcome to this episode of Embers Rising podcast. I'm super fired up that I'm in the studio again with you, and it's just you and I. So this is so fabulous,
I'm excited. I'm excited.
This is so, Taruna, today, you are helping others rise and thrive. And I'm diving right into this because I want to know what's driving you right now today.
What's driving me, you asked, Wendy?
Yeah.
There are, now that I'm thinking, I'm processing it as I'm answering, but there are people who are the haves and then the people who are the have-nots, right? In
Yeah.
anything in life, Wendy, there are certain things that we can change. There are certain things that we can move the needle on a lot of things that people think is not possible. So what drives me is for people who think that they are on the have-not side, for them to know that they can have it. They need
Yeah.
to know that certain things are possible, so
I love
that's
that.
what drives me, I think.
I love that because I think everybody just needs a little touch of reminder that, that hope is still available and not to give up at the moment,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
So, what's a moment I think recently that you've been maybe reminded why you do the work that you do? Why is it so important?
The work that I do is important because I see people who have so much within them in terms of the experience, the qualifications, and then they think that they are the have-nots. Andy,
Yeah.
that is when I see them, I know that once they start believing in themselves, once they know that there is a method to things, they will start believing in everything that they have within them. I mean, that's how I would like to put it.
Yeah, I agree. Now I've given our audience an intro about who you are, but I have not heard it direct from you. So I would love for you to share just a little bit about, who you are, what you do today.
Sure. I am an empathetic public speaking coach. This is coming to me as I'm speaking to you because I am
Love
that.
it.
I feel your struggles. I know that there are times that you have opportunities that you are letting go of, or there are opportunities that you don't even think you should grab onto, or there are opportunities that could knock on your door if you um, empower yourself with strong communication skills. So, whatever level that you are at, I promise you, you can take it not just higher um, with the right tools in public speaking. So, the who I am is someone who empowers you to get there.
And what's the age group that you work with?
So, there are two separate groups that I have. One is my company, it is Power Speakers Unlimited, Wendy, and I have some amazing coaches who work with me. We work with children, kindergarten through 12th grade, because I realized early
Amazing.
on that I want to hold on to them early on, so that before the belief starts settling in them that, you know what, this is hard and I don't think I can do it, or I don't want to do it. I want to take them in before that feeling settles in within them. So we have that Power Speakers Unlimited coaches kids kindergarten onwards to all the way up to high school. And then I work one on one with adults, corporates, universities. That is what I do.
And how do the kids react to what you guys are teaching?
So, Wendy, again, when I am inducting teachers, my coaches, I tell them, I said, we're not trying to replicate a school system here. We want them to, we want to indirectly feed this message to them that public speaking can be fun, right?
Yeah.
So, if a child is coming with no pre-decided or pre-known inhibitions around it, then we are literally looking at a blank slate. We write what we want to on it, right? And sometimes when they come with these weak notions about it should not be done, we erase them faster than it can settle in. So kids react the way we react to the whole concept of public speaking. If we are happy around talking to them, group discussion, speaking, it does not allow into to settle in within them that this is a very daunting thing to do.
That is so cool. How do is it a certain school that you work with or community, or how do parents find you through these programs?
Sure. So we have a website. It's called powerspeakersunlimited.com. And that's where they can see our stories and what we do and how we do it. So I try to put in everything in that one space. And then again, by God's grace, there are lots of reviews that parents can read to get a vibe of what Power Speakers Unlimited is all about.
That's so cool. And this is like an after school
It
kind
is.
of program.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how powerful to have a young person come in to something that they've never experienced like that before and already starting to break through the fears
It
that
is
they
so
may be
beautiful.
having inside. And they all have them, but starting to give them that little piece of confidence.
Mhm. They all have it. So, and I feel that coaches have a huge responsibility on their shoulders, whether we are doing coaching for adults or for children, especially in the field that I am in. You have to reset their beliefs in themselves, right?
Yeah.
So we have a huge responsibility. I want them to know that we are on their side, holding on to their hands tightly as they are taking that step on that tightrope of performing in front of others. Right. So we take that responsibility seriously, Wendy.
That's incredible. You know, now I have had a previous conversation with you,
Yeah.
a couple of them,
Yeah.
and I know your story, but our audience doesn't. Share a little bit about that story because I know you have seen the dark side both professionally and personally. What was a moment that changed everything for you?
So if I can say it, I was probably for a long time one of those have nots, is what I would say, only because I come from a family of super achievers, Wendy. My mom, she was a very successful doctor at a time in India when women did not think about taking up professions, you know? for her to fund for her own
Oh,
education, think of being a doctor. In fact, very interestingly, she got into Boston University for medical, but funds was
wow.
one thing, and her family did not allow her. It was unthinkable at that time, so she had to hold back. But she did a lot of things on her own to carve her own path for herself that never made her bitter, angry. People who know her know that she's touched so many lives with her very genuine smile, positivity, and a desire to help. But she was a doctor. My siblings are doctors, their spouses are doctors, and I was the
Oh
oldest.
my gosh.
So the hope was I would be the one who would lead the family in that field, and I chose not to. And honestly, again, at the time when I was growing up, there were public speaking was not even a field to consider as a profession, right? So I actually sat on the sidelines, twiddling my thumb and trying to feel like, what is it that I can do? Because I was confident. I could connect very well with people. I loved children. But none of that you could say that, hey, you know what? This is the profession that you could make out of it. So honestly, um, I was on the sidelines thinking, what would be the thing for me? I went into education, was very happy. But again, I was very clear. I didn't want to be a school teacher. I wanted something where I could do things my way. So then luckily, public speaking happened to me as a profession, and I'm so grateful for that. And then the other piece that you're talking about is I accidentally got to know that I was diagnosed with a disease. And then, I told you this also, Wendy, that for some strong reason, I have stopped using the word you know, because I'm like, in no way do I want to manifest it in my life. But it was that one disease that, the thought of it can rob you of everything. It's not something that can give you goosebumps or make you sad. It can literally, in seconds, rob you of everything. It can rob you of hope for a future, hope for today, hope for normalcy, hope for something that everyone around you is taking for granted. It can literally snatch all of that away from you. And that happened to me at a time where I thought, I was doing well physically because I was running half marathons. I was very conscious of what I was putting in my mouth. And then living a happy life, social, someone who was always had people around me, someone who enjoyed literally everything from the small laughs, smiles to the big laughs to big parties with music, to just being myself, listening to the soulful songs. I was just in the moment with everything. And then something like this, if it happens to you, I went for a few months. I was in a state of denial. And then I was telling you this last time, my sister is a doctor and younger to me, right? I would talk to her like, she could turn things around for me. I said, you know what? I am not going to lose my hair. This is not going to happen to me. I don't know what will you do. You will make things work. I'll not take any kind of treatment that's good because I loved myself the way I looked. I loved it, right? And I'm thinking, no, 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 I'm not going to do this. You're going to make this work for me. I was so authoritative in the way I was talking to her because there was
Hmm.
so much fear of what I was losing or was about to lose. And she would indulge me. She said, you know what? We'll work around it. We'll figure out something. And I was like, I was in control. And medically, I was pushing her to be in control of circumstances around me, right? And
That's,
then
yeah.
I was telling you that one time, right after my first surgery, which lasted for 7 hours, and I had a friend who
Mm.
came to see me. And I was lying in bed all bandaged, and I looked at her and I started crying. I said, do you know how how many cuts I have on my body right now? So many stitches, so many cuts, so much pain. And she said this one thing to me. She said, you know what, Taruna? I would take my mother back in a heartbeat with all these stitches, all these marks on her body. She said, I would give anything to have my mom back in the physical condition that you are in. And I probably, I don't think she even realized, what she did to me, because I was like, wow, there are people who will love me no matter what, who will accept me no matter what. And life is worth living. If I am literally staring at the darkness on my life, Wendy, it is darkness that's staring back at me. And I'm not trying to sound poetic about it or something, because I cannot. I've lived those moments. Someone who's not lived those moments can make it sound dramatic, and you can question them to say, but what do you know about it? With
Yeah.
me, I lived those moments. I lived those dark moments. I very consciously realigned myself. And I like how you do podcasts and you are empowering so many people. God bless you and Dave. But with me, I did about 3 or 4 podcasts around this. And the first one that I did was literally when I came out of it and was on um, pills for a long, like they were oral chemo pills I was
Mm,
on. And that's when, I did my first podcast. And I had goosebumps when I was doing it, because
mm,
I was rethinking as I was resharing my journey, and
mm.
there's this one sentence I said to myself, and when I listen to it now, I'm like, wow, Taruna, I said to myself that the curtain will fall only once. I am not going to go through that entire cycle of why me, why now, what next, because nobody has answers to that. So, if I am, think about it like that. If there is a closed door that I keep knocking on, I will hurt my fist, Wendy, because that door will not open. In that same way, if I keep questioning why me, why now, what next, no one has the answers. Who will have the answers? My doctors did not.
Yeah.
I
That's so
realized my
powerful.
sister did not have the answers. My brother, he's a doctor, he did not have the answers, right? And they were both indulging me. They're like, yeah, 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 we'll do what you want to. You know, there's nothing that they could do, right? And that's when I realized that hope is about making decisions every single day. Hope is not certainty, hope is the actions that you take each and every day, even when you don't know the answers. It's like, what is the next step? What is the next right step that you can take in your life? You build hope like that for yourself. You are your best teacher, you're your best friend. And like that best friend, you have to play that role of a best friend for yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to support yourself. You have to turn your face away from the dark corners to look at something that gives you that hope, that happiness, that something in that moment, in that hour, on that day. So you are your best friend. You are your best um, teacher, your coach. All of these things, I realized during that time. And
I was just going to
I did
say,
not,
no,
so
go ahead.
sorry. I did not stop working for a single day, Wendy.
Wow.
I did not. I would literally, at that time, I was running power speakers out of my home. And I would crawl into my basement, but I would show up every single day for myself, not for anyone else, And yeah,
That's amazing. Wow. I just think that story blows me away. That's the second time maybe third time I've heard your story in totally different ways. And I love hearing that, Taruna, because you so resonate. When I think of you, it's like when I wrote you that email, I just think power, and you have that space, but you also hold that for people. And I think that that's really special. And I think holding that for people gives them that level of confidence where they can show up. And you've got the empathetic side that connects with someone on the other side, that they're looking at you for finding their way through the fear, and you're giving them back the hope and the confidence to step into the next version of themselves for the next moment, you know?
So, Wendy, the two sides of me, this side has actually evolved since my diagnosis, you know.
Hmm.
It has
Yeah.
actually, I have actually um, polished this side of me more because, even with my coaching, I want to hold their hand and lead them through um, the pitfalls that they think they're going to fall into. I want to be that kind of a coach, that kind of a person who can help others in whatever way you can, because I always thought that God gave me a second chance because it was a rare kind of disease, Wendy. My
Mm.
doctor said they've not seen a lot of cases like mine. So if you are in that situation, you have to be grateful. You have to know that there's a higher power who who led you through this, and then you have to then pass on that kindness to someone else, right? I mean, that's how
Awesome.
I have looked at the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. What are you realizing today about yourself? You know, when I say that, I know that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting despite of it, like you were saying. What is the first step for someone who feels stuck right now?
You know what I would say, Wendy? The thing that I struggled with initially was why me.
Yeah.
I It took me some time to get past that because my mind was only on that, and then the fear that was building on, right? It was extremely disturbing. I would look at people who loved me and was hoping that I would see something in their eyes that would tell me that it's all okay. When I looked into their eyes, I saw fear.
Mm.
So that was not helping me, right? So I realized that the first step is accept. Look at things as they are, and then see what is it that you can do. There are certain things you can change and certain things that you cannot change. The things that you cannot change, accept it. Then look for things that you can change, and there will be things. It could be the right people around you, it could be the right activities that fill your day, it could be yeah, it's literally this: the right people and the right activities. And then
I love that.
trust
Yeah.
your doctors, right? In
Yeah.
a physical situation. But if outside of that too, who are the right people, right? If, let's see my example, if you are struggling with public speaking, you need a coach. Because if you're struggling with public speaking, that fear is holding you back. It's not letting you take that bold step forward. It's not. Then what do? You need a coach. You need a
Yeah.
coach because you've had bad experiences. You've had that one time as a child that you messed up a presentation, a speech, and that you are holding on to that and believing that this is why I cannot do this ever again. You need a coach. You need someone who knows the right tools, the right things that can help you move forward. You need
Yeah.
the right people around you, right? As I said. And then you need the right activities within the day to fill up your days. so that between the two things, you know that you are taking one positive step forward. Because wherever you are standing, you can continue to keep standing there. Life is moving past you, your opportunities are moving past you. So I always say you have two choices: either move forward, take control, or stay where you are and keep turning back to look at all the challenges that have been there, and that continue to be with you, because that does not change the status quo. It does not. So we always have two choices. Pick the one that can help you move forward. That's all I would say then.
Turn that pain into the power that you have inside. Yeah,
You said it.
absolutely.
You said it.
Yeah,
Yes. Turn that.
I love that.
Did we not talk about this last time, Wendy?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I love that.
We talked
This is
about it.
this is coming through so good, Taruna. I love this conversation. I love this. This is
To power.
this yeah, I love this. You know, you talk so much about hope, and what does hope, I guess, mean after you have been through everything right now to you?
Wendy, when I was going through this, my doctor showed a chart to me, right? It had graphs, and I remember it had a pie graph on it. And he's
Mm.
telling me, this is the success rate, and this is that, and that is that. Um, what is hope to me today? Hope is surrendering to that higher power. Hope is being kind to myself. Hope is taking positive actions every single day. That is hope to me, Wendy.
It's awesome. Yeah. The simple things that we don't even think about that we can do that give ourselves that hope inside our heart.
Yeah, that is hope to me.
That's awesome. How does your journey connect to the work you do today? You spoke a little bit about, are you still coaching other coaches to teach with these children,
Yes.
leaders and adults?
And I am so blessed because, seriously, I'm so blessed, Wendy, because I'm attracting all the right people.
That's
When
awesome.
I talk about the coaches that work with me, each and every one of them is very consciously touching those kids' hearts, holding on to them tightly as they are walking with them as coaches. And honestly, when I walk room to room listening to those kids giggle as they are talking, or those teachers so animated as they are coaching, I cannot be not grateful, because as one person, I cannot create that magic ever. And for the right people, for me to attract those right people, it is God's plan. So I am very, very, very grateful for that beautiful team that we've created together. Even the parents that I'm attracting at Power Speakers Unlimited.
Mm.
There is no clash. I've never been in a situation where I've had to raise my voice or they are raising their voices at any of us. It does not happen, Wendy, because it's not happening because they know that we are truly invested in their children. So then there is it's so beautiful. And then even when I'm working with adults, um, it is beautiful because they know that I will do my best to help them, right? When I am in universities, it just flows beautifully. So then I know that it is the higher plan. I'm not creating that. I know very strongly that there is a higher power that is just helping me attract the right people around me.
I love that. I love that. I feel like if someone listening to this right now and you are in that dark moment, you and I, Truna, off camera had this conversation about giving yourself 24 more hours just to see if another spark would come in and just light your heart up just a little more, to give yourself that grace of who you are inside, to know that you can do it.
I mean, you said it so rightly. Give yourself that grace. If you are in a weak moment,
Yeah.
you still love yourself. I said this during that time, and I said, I meant it. I said, I love myself with my hair, no hair, um, with all those cuts on my body. I love myself. I loved myself before. I love myself then. You have to give yourself that love. Don't be harsh on yourself. And there will be
Yeah.
doors that will be closed. There will always be. And it's with any one of us. Even the most successful people have doors that get shut on their faces,
Yeah.
right? Look for
Absolutely.
that small creak. Look for, just turn around and look for another door. I was talking to someone randomly about internships for young students, and that person told me, he said that, Tarna, I know of this one kid who applied 700 times and then got
Oh,
one job, that one internship that that kid was very happy with, right? I was working
wow.
with on presentations with my students the other day, and I told them that I know and you know that you work 1.5 months towards this, from researching to putting your thoughts together to presenting, though creating that presentation. But when you're speaking in front of an audience, no one knows the hard work that you've put in. No one knows. You have to
100%.
stand
Yeah.
up in that moment to present is what they know, is what they will take back home with you. So, yes, doors are closing on you. Yes, you've seen failed opportunities. Yes, all of that is happening. But how you show up for yourself is what you will leave others with. And that's going to warm your heart, right? So, doors will close. People say that, oh, the job market is. I was talking to someone yesterday and he said, Tarna, I said, yeah, I know the job market is volatile. He said, no, 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 it's not volatile. It is bad. I mean, it is in the pits right now, is what he said. So, volatile is when it goes up, it goes down. He said, it's not that, it's down. So then you have to show up for yourself every day, because yes, doors are closing. Yes, opportunities are closing, but you have to stand up for yourself. You always have two choices:
100%.
give up, and the other is stand up and look around, start knocking on more doors. I mean, that's the only way to go forward, Wendy, isn't it?
I love that. I love that. Are your classes just in person, or can someone join virtually?
Oh, COVID opened those doors to us, Wendy. So the classes are hybrid and virtual now.
That's great. That's so great, Taruna.
Yeah.
What else can you share with our audience, or maybe that you want to share with our audience?
One story, it's just coming to my mind. I know we were talking about this the last time.
Yeah.
I kind of learned to arrest the dark thoughts or plan towards moments where, that will happen. I remember when I was starting my chemo, I will not wait for the days when I'm feeling weak and this and that, because I would be on bed for a longish time during that time, right? So you know what I did? I registered myself for project management PMP certification exam. It is hard, Wendy. It's
Wow.
very hard to prepare for that. And then I didn't just sign up for a coaching program. I picked a date that this is when I will go for that exam, which means that even if I am shedding tears in the day, the clock for that exam is ticking, like, oh my God, I have to open my books because I have this exam coming,
That's
right?
awesome.
And then I started redoing the curriculum for Power Speakers Unlimited. I had
Mm,
this book where I had lesson plans for things that had worked over the years, and I put all of that together, and I neatly put it together into a program for kindergarten through second graders, third through fifth, sixth through grade, and high school. I literally took up both these projects at that time, so anticipating that those dark thoughts will come to me. I was giving myself less time mentally, because physically I was in that weak state. But mentally, I was giving myself less time to entertain or indulge in those thoughts.
Wow. That's awesome. Giving yourself a goal. Wow.
I did not pass the PMP thing, and that was the first time because I think I'm a decently good student, and that was the first time I did not clear something, Wendy. You know,
Oh my gosh.
whole week when I went there, I sat for 4 exams to give 4 hours to do that exam. I was terribly weak.
Oh,
And I'm looking at every question and the four alternatives that you get, every alternative looked right to me. And I was like, Taruna, what's wrong with you? Everything looked like, oh, it could be this and it could be this.
oh
Seriously,
no.
Taruna? I said, what? How are you thinking you're going to answer these questions? And some I just randomly take, and then I would get up, walk a little, sit down, then do it again. And I did not make it. But
Wow.
I passed those weeks very well in the sense that my mind was on positive things. That was one thing. And the beautiful that thing that came out of this was I was talking to a friend. I said, you know what? I did not pass BMP. And I'm also working on the curriculum. And she says, do you not see the signs, Taruna? You are meant to take public speaking programs forward and not focus on working as a project manager. This is a
Wow.
sign. Wrap up that part of your life. And that's when I started Power Speakers as a company. Before then, I was just doing it for it because it gave me happiness. That's when I um, started the company Power Speakers Unlimited during that time because I thought I
Mm,
saw signs that I should not be a project manager and do this. So, yes, to answer your question, I set goals.
that's awesome. I love that. I mean, something that you were going after just hit you to another direction.
Yes,
And I love that. Oh, I love that so much. It's just such a good reminder for all of us who's in the moment of doing the thing, just can lead you to that other thing. It doesn't have to be that thing that you're actually doing. It may just be the stepping stone to the next thing.
yes.
Yeah. And then also giving yourself the freedom, like your friend had said, to wrap that up, the way that you phrase that. I mean, I think a lot of us want to do all of it, but is it if you were to let go of that one thing, you learned about it and you did the other thing, could it take you to the next thing better for you?
Because then, Wendy, there is less struggle in your mind,
100%. Yeah.
not in that space of why me. I could have literally sat there and like, why me? Why did I not clear this? Right? I put in effort. I spent money on the coaching and then on the thing. Why me? Nothing is going
I
on
love that.
in my life right now. But thankfully, that friend told me, wrap this part up now. Look at this. And I was in such a happy state because I was working on the curriculums, the website, the this, the that, registering the company. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I'm going to take some of that advice for myself. So,
Your stories are so amazing too. So amazing.
well, I don't want to keep you, Taruna, and you're such a gift of light, and I'm so glad that we grabbed this next at this other time to talk to each other. Tell us, where can people find you or learn from you?
Um, right now on LinkedIn, if you put my name, you will find me there. And I have been postponing creating my website, though I have the domain name tarunaramani.com. And I'm in a very happy space because I'm literally designing the whole thing for myself right now. Myself,
That's great.
what I want to show up as on that website. So I'm in a beautiful creative space. That should be coming up soon, tarunaramani.com. Yes.
That's awesome. And we'll put those links in the show notes below here. And if you could leave the listeners with one truth about resilience, what would it be?
Two things. One, don't keep staring at closed doors. They are closed. Second, um, take action for yourself, even when and honestly, you don't have to figure out all the answers today, right now, but take one positive step for yourself. I promise you, you will start looking at things differently, even when all those doors are closed around you. You will find that spark within yourself. You have to find it within yourself first. And that's when you show up as a better version of yourself. So that spark will show within you, it'll light within you when you start taking positive steps forward, even if it's that one step.
I love that. I love that. Well, if you're listening to this now, I hope that you can hear in Taruna's voice the empathetic love and power that she is just pushing through this mic right now into your ears to just give you that spark. I definitely can feel that, Taruna. So I love your energy, and the way you come across is just so easy and understanding. So thank you.
Thank
Thank you for this
you so much.
conversation today.
It was a beautiful conversation. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Wow, what an incredible story, David. She's just amazing. I mean, if this episode didn't light something up inside of you, I don't know what will, because hope, it's obviously not a feeling, it's something you build. And if there's one thing to take away from this episode, know that you are not stuck, my friend. No matter where you're at right now, you have the power to shift, to grow, and to rise just by taking the action step of having hope, giving yourself another 24 hours. So here's your job today. Push through the doubts, burn the excuses, and take one more step, no matter how small. Just get started. Dave and I are all about that. If this episode left you feeling like you can share or ignited you in some way, please do that. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, rate us on Spotify, drop us a message over there on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe for us. We would appreciate that. We are a new podcast out here, and yeah, we're excited to be with you, and we appreciate you. So as always, if there's anything else, Dave,
No, I think you've summed it up perfectly.
we're going to say what we love to say is burn excuses, keep rising, and we are sending you our aloha.
Aloha.